Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rulla Alani, and today we are going to be talking about how to spot a loser versus a gentleman. So as we all know, there are a lot of losers out there, aka average Joes, whatever you want to call them, and they tend to waste our time. Especially for us high quality ladies, we could fall into some sort of trap because sometimes there's a guy who is almost there to being a gentleman. He might have half of the qualities that we're looking for, but he's still lacking overall. So if any of these things in today's video sound a little bit familiar, then maybe that's your sign to drop this guy from your life or cancel him out, because we all know that when we cancel losers from our life, we make space for guys who are high quality and high value. So just keep on watching if you want to find out how to spot a loser versus a gentleman. Number one, a loser contacts you often, but a gentleman actually makes plans. So I myself, especially when I was online dating, I found a lot of guys out there who appeared as if they were gentlemen. They would text me every day, they would text me good morning, they'd ask me about my day. However, when it came down to actually planning a date or planning some sort of gathering, it just never happened. And it would go from days to weeks to months where these men would just want to talk and communicate, whether it be through text or call, but they would never take the next step and actually asking me, hey, are you available this weekend? May I take you out? So this is a clear sign that you're dealing with a loser or an average Joe. Maybe he's not ready for a relationship. Perhaps he doesn't even really know what he wants. But the truth is, a real gentleman is going to ask you straight up, hey, are you available this day, this time? Can I take you out? And after at least some dialogue, they are going to take steps to actually plan something with you. So this is a clear indicator that you're not dealing with a gentleman. Number two, a loser asks you out, but during the date, he asks you to go 50-50. So if you have watched my previous videos, you know that I have very strong opinions about going 50-50, and it's something that I personally would never do. Now, we're all entitled to have our own opinion, our own judgments on that, and you can go ahead and storm the comment section and say that you disagree with me, but I am a traditional woman, and I know that there are gentlemen out there who wouldn't dare let their lady pull their wallet out or even open their own door. So those are the type of men that we are seeking on this channel, and obviously if you're watching my channel, then you probably have similar traditional views. So if a man takes you out on a date and at any point asks you to go 50-50, you should definitely stand your ground and let him know, well, hey, you invited me out, and it's the man's job to provide. It's the man's job to take care of the bill. So if he disagrees with you on that, then that's clearly going to be your last date, and you should be very firm on this, especially if it's a first date, because the man is literally giving you his vibe and his attitude right then and there. First impressions are everything. So a man should really be trying to impress you and show that he's a true masculine man on a first date. If he can't do that, then you should also, make it clear that you are not willing to go out with him again and you are not willing to go 50-50. So this is another sign that you're dealing with a loser. Number three, a loser may introduce you to his friends or family, but he acts different around them, or he doesn't really introduce you in a proper way. Maybe he doesn't even give you a proper introduction. Maybe he just walks in, let's say that his friends or family are having dinner, and he just grabs a seat. He never really says, hey, this is my friend so-and-so, and introduces her to his friends or family. I think that it's so vital that a man introduces you properly because you want to feel comfortable, right? And especially if you're meeting someone for the first time, his friends or family, you also want to make a good impression on them. If a man isn't going to stand up and vocalize, hey, this is my friend, this is my girlfriend, whatever you may be, at that time, if he doesn't make that proper introduction, that's going to make you feel uncomfortable and awkward. And even worse, maybe he just acts different around his friends or family. Maybe he kind of just leaves you to hang out with his other friends while he's doing something else. Now, it's different if you've been dating this person for a long time and you're familiar with the environment and the setting. Obviously, that's a totally different scenario. But if it's your first time meeting his friends and family, he should definitely stay by your side and, accompany you. So that is a clear sign that you are with a loser if he just doesn't even introduce you and then sort of acts different around his friends or family. Number 4, a loser pressures you to get into a relationship or to become physical with him, but a gentleman will wait until you're ready. So a lot of women think that they have to just jump into a relationship if they are attracted to someone or if they're interested in someone. And a lot of men tend to pressure women into settling down immediately, maybe after 1, 2, or 3 dates. As women, we need to stay logical. We are very emotional creatures. I talked about this in a previous video where I talk about the differences between men and women and what we want from love. Well, long story short, women are more emotional and we really value communication. We really value relationships, and it is so important for us to stay level-headed, especially when we're first meeting someone, because our emotions tend to get the best of us. We might stop acting with our logic. We might just be so head over heels that we just lose all of our boundaries and standards, and we start doing things that normally we would not be comfortable with. So it's important to take things slow, and a true gentleman is going to value you for taking the time to actually choose him as your partner. So just know that if there is a man and he is pressuring you for a relationship when you've just recently met, or perhaps he's pressuring you to take the next step with him physically and you are not ready, then that is a loser, my friends. True gentlemen will never put you in this situation. They want you to be comfortable. They want you to be the one who is ready to take that next step and that next leap of faith. So just know, if he's pressuring you at all for anything, then he is a loser. Number 5, a loser texts or calls late at night, but a gentleman will contact you first thing in the morning. If not first thing in the morning, then during the afternoon, during the day, when the sun is still out. And this just shows that he's thinking about you for the right reasons. If a man is texting you the last part of his day, or he's calling you late at night, when it's like you're getting ready for bed, then clearly you were not a top priority. You were not someone that he was thinking about when he first woke up. You were not someone that he was willing to plan for, and he doesn't really respect your time either. That's really what I want to highlight, is that if a man is just texting you or calling you last minute late at night, he doesn't really value you. He doesn't really value your time, because we women, we also have things to do. We're not just going to be waiting around last minute for a late night text, and a lot of women are guilty of just responding right away or engaging in conversation at really late hours, and that just gives off the wrong signal. So make sure that he is messaging you when the sun is still out. Make sure that he's actually messaging you and making plans like we talked about earlier in this video, but just be very, very firm in this. If a man is texting you late at night consistently, then it shows he's really not in it for the right reasons, and that will be a sign that he is a loser. Number 6, a loser ghosts you. for days, for weeks, maybe even months. But a true gentleman is going to be communicating with you consistently. So when I say that he's communicating with you consistently, I'm not saying all day, every minute, every hour of the day, right? I think that we should really give each other space to live our own lives and to carry out our duties and whatever we need to do, especially if you're dealing with a gentleman, with a high value man. I'm sure that he has a lot on his plate, whether it's his own business, whether it's hobbies, whether it's travels. So you need to be accommodating for that. But the truth is, he is still going to make time for you. Even if, he has a really busy day, he's going to let you know ahead of time, hey, I have a really busy day ahead, but I just hope that, we can connect later this week, and I hope you have a wonderful day. It's not that hard to communicate with someone on a consistent basis. So if a man is just disappearing for days, weeks, and months on end, then clearly you are not a priority. Maybe he might just be involved with something else. Maybe he's seeing another person. You are just not the top of his priority list once again. So just make sure that, it's okay to not talk all day, every day. But especially if you are in the dating phase with someone, you guys should be talking on a consistent basis, right? Like, you should know what the other person is up to. Once again, you don't need to go overboard and need to know what they're doing every second of every day, but at least just have a general idea of what his day looked like, what he was up to, and vice versa. This means that you guys are on the same page. You guys are actually, making steps towards a relationship, because obviously when you are in a partnership with someone as boyfriend and girlfriend, or even, more, maybe if you're married, you are going to be a part of that person's everyday life. So if you're not making steps towards that, then you're taking steps back. It's really that simple. So if a man is not talking with you on a consistent basis, then he is an average Joe, or he's just not looking for something serious at the moment. Number 7, a loser asks you about your ex, or he brings up his own ex, while a gentleman truly only cares about the present moment and the future. A lot of guys in today's day and age have insecurities, from what I've noticed. And I shouldn't say all guys. I mean, a lot of people do, especially with social media, especially with just, I would say, the competition out there. A lot of people look great, and a lot of people are doing a lot of amazing things. So it can really wear down on someone who's not confident in themselves, someone who is more insecure, someone who's not really sure of the relationship. And this is when you start seeing these behaviors of someone wanting to know every little detail about your last partnerships, wanting to know how many people you've been with, when your last ex was, and X, Y, and Z. I do want to make a disclaimer. It is okay to talk generally about past partnerships, right? Like, if someone asks you, what was your longest relationship? That is a pretty PG question, right? Like, I think it's okay to share that. But if they are going so much into depth, like, why did this relationship end? And, how many boyfriends have you had? And when did you start dating? And it starts getting so deep. Is that person really concerned with creating a future with you, or are they really just concerned with nitpicking your past and basically trying to find out why you're not right for them or why something didn't work out before? I truly believe that the past should not define our future, and if someone is just always wanting to know about your past or bringing up their ex, then it shows they really are not over that period in their lives, and perhaps they need to do some self-development and some self-love and self-work before they are actually ready to focus on the present moment and the future with a loved one. So I really encourage you guys to stay away from topics involving your ex, involving past relationships. It really has no place, especially when you're meeting someone new, especially when you're trying to move forward and not look back. So that is a clear indicator that you're dealing with a loser if he continues to ask you about your past, or bring up his own past without really focusing on the present moment. Number 8, a loser asks for your passwords, but a gentleman relies on trust. So this might be a little bit controversial. I know that some people, when they get into a relationship or when they are married, they may share passwords, right? Whether it be on their phones, their email, I don't know, their social media. I personally do not think that is okay. I think that everyone should have their own privacy, right? Like, you're already sharing so much with someone, and I don't think that you literally have to share every single password in order for there to be trust. I think trust is more of a feeling, and no matter how many passwords you have, if you're someone who doesn't trust your partner, you're still not going to trust them. So I truly believe that a real gentleman is not going to demand that you share your passwords. He is not going to really care about your passwords because he trusts you. He chose you because he saw you as someone that he could trust, as someone that he could build a partnership and a life with. And passwords are not really part of that equation. We should all have our own sense of security and privacy, and as much as I believe that we should share with someone that we're dating, I believe there are some things we do need to keep to ourselves. I talk about this in a lot of other videos when I encourage women to always share less than they want to, especially on a first date, because as women, we tend to overshare, we tend to kind of tell our whole life story, and at the end of the day, this person doesn't need to know everything about you, right? It's all about creating a bond and building together. It's not always about what so-and-so said and, you know, what happened in high school. So I really do think that a gentleman is not going to be asking you for your passwords. He's going to trust you, and he himself is also going to be trustworthy. Number 9, a loser doesn't want you to hang out with anyone besides himself, while a gentleman will actually encourage you to spend time, you know, apart, maybe with friends, maybe with family, maybe doing a personal hobby or activity. This is key, and I think that as you grow older, you really do realize this, because I know when I was a teenager and I was 16, I thought true love was spending every second of every minute of every day together. And now that I'm 26 years old, I truly believe and I know with confidence that true love does not mean that you need to share every single moment of your life together. I think actually love becomes more beautiful when you each have alone time, when you're both able to engage in your own friendships, right? Like, not every single hangout needs to be a double date. You can have a girls' night. He can have a guys' night. You can go and visit your family without him there. I think that that is extremely healthy, and I think that it's actually good because we all need time for ourselves to unwind, to reflect, to work on ourselves. And a lot of people end up losing themselves in a relationship because they lose their identity. They start hanging out with someone every single day, and whatever hobbies they used to have, they don't really do them anymore. And whatever interests they used to have, they don't really have anymore, because now they've just formed kind of into a morphed version of their partner. So I think it is extremely important to retain your identity and to maintain whoever it is that you are. And the best way to do this is to spend time together. Of course, I'm not saying that that's bad, but also make sure to spend time apart, whether it's with friends, it's with family, or whether it's just alone by yourself. So if there is a guy who you've met who seems to be kind of controlling or wanting you to only spend time with him, and he doesn't really seem happy when you're spending time with your friends for their birthdays, or when you're going to work, or doing anything without him, that is a clear red flag that he's a loser. And even worse, he might have some possessiveness or some controlling traits that might become even worse later. So this is something key that you need to watch out for, because a true gentleman is going to be encouraging of you spending time with other people. Last but not least, number 10, A loser promises many things, but a true gentleman actually follows through with his word. So a lot of us have been around men who might talk up a big storm, right? I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to take you here. We are going to build this beautiful life together. But then nothing really happens. You don't really see any of those things coming to fruition. So a lot of losers or average Joes are really good with their words. They're really good at talking up a vision or an idea of what things might be. But unfortunately, it turns out most of the time it's just an illusion. It's just a dream. It's not really the reality of the situation, and it's not reflective of the effort that they're actually putting in. So true gentlemen are going to say what they mean and mean what they say. And if they promise you something, they are going to follow through with that promise. So that wraps up today's video. I want to ask you guys, have you guys dealt with any of these guys before? I know I sure have. We've all been young and dumb, and it's all good as long as we're able to learn from our mistakes. And just remember, when you cancel these average Joes from your life, you are making space for the right man who is actually deserving of you. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, give me a like, comment down below, and I will see you all very soon. Mwah. Bye.